That was a bit of a turn of events. So that little 2-minute period last night, it was awesome. I mean, and that's really all it takes is just 2 minutes of a light event to change the whole shoot for you.
Oh, hello. I did see you there. I just chose to ignore you because I don't like you. In all seriousness though, this is a bit of a longer video, so I suggest you get yourself some coffee or heroin or tequila or whatever it is that you like to enjoy, sit back and relax, and just remember that if you don't feel like finishing it, YouTube has a history function and you can watch it later, but if not, that's okay too. Let's go on a slight adventure with I and Malcolm the Pug, shall we? Enjoy the video.
So I'm here at school. I got a Billy Madison situation going on here. I have to go back to school. Actually, I'm at the Royal Greg, or the Royal George, or something. It's a big-ass bridge. And this bridge is the longest and most suspensioniest bridge that goes over this particular part of this canyon in all of Colorado. This place was built as a tourist attraction, and holy shit is it ever. It's Monday in the middle of winter, and there's somewhere around a shitload of people here, and that's fine. I came here to do hopefully some Milky Way photography, but as far as the forecast goes, it might be a little too cloudy for that tonight. And so I was like, okay, well maybe I'll do like sunset. We booked the Bates Motel, and I'm here with Norman Bates, the pug version. So I was planning on doing maybe some sunrise and sunset. Hopefully we get a good one, but unfortunately this place closes at 5 p.m. I really don't understand why people only go to places like this when it's blue sky. Like, I really think that most people don't know that the prettiest time to go to a place like this is actually sunrise and sunset. It's either that or it's like a safety thing. I don't know. It's super annoying. Like, some of these really cool places are just totally misutilized because the best times of day and the prettiest times of day, you just can't see them. But this parking lot is open, I'm pretty sure 24 hours. So we're just gonna hang out here, and there's actually some pretty decent views of the bridge from here. So we bought tickets to go in, but we have to be out by 5, but we can still hang out here. And I'm also gonna try, there's some overflow parking over there. And on Google Maps, it looks like you can kind of wander away and go into the woods a little bit and get a better view of the bridge anyway. From this vantage point, from the parking lot, you can't really see the Milky Way because it's going to rise further to the south. As the CEO of the Carrie West YouTube channel, I feel like I have to make some very serious decisions here about what we're gonna do. I don't think I'm really supposed to go wandering into the woods by this place. It seems like a very locked down place. There's cameras everywhere. But the worst that'll happen is they'll show up and tase me half to death, and then I'll just get a free ride to the nearest hospital anyway, so. But I brought a lot of gear. I'm on the Osmo right now because I wanted to show you what's in my bag here just for fun. It's only one night, but I tend to bring too much stuff because I'd rather have too much than not enough, especially when there's no hiking going on. So we'll go ahead and look in here. We've got the a7IV with the 14-24. That's probably the lens I'm going to start everything with. I got the a7III body over here, just in case. Probably going to do some time lapses on the bridge. That might actually be kind of cool because there's a lot of people walking up and down it. I got the 35mm here for possibly some panoramas because this lens has very limited distortion, so it's actually really great for that from what I've heard. I've got the 20mm. The reason I brought this and the 14-24 is because the 14-24 has a very bulbous front element, so you can't actually put filters on the front of it. So if I want to do some really long exposures, I'm going to need something else. I brought the 85 for some telephoto. This is the longest lens I have that's not a manual lens. And then the 24-70. And then of course a couple of tripods. Malcolm, shut up. You're a baby. Why are you a baby? I know, you're a baby. I could have told you that. And then a whole nother bag filled with shit right here. And then I've got my Sony bag, which is this is made for lights, but I'm using it as a gimbal bag. Anyway, so if the Milky Way does come out tonight, I'm gonna need to find a spot to get the bridge and the Milky Way in one shot. This is a second overflow parking, and as far as I can tell, there are no gates anywhere around here, and they didn't explicitly say that you can come after hours, but they also didn't say you can't, and there are no signs that say that you can't come to the parking lots. The only good vantage point that can include the Milky Way and the bridge would be over in this other parking lot, which is behind this gate. So I think I'm gonna sneak over there somewhere and try to get a night shot with the bridge. I mean, this fence is pretty obviously set up here to keep you from going over there. But as long as there's no predators like mountain lions, I mean, or sexual predators, like human predators are pretty bad too. You don't want to run into one of those guys in the middle of the woods at night. So we're gonna go back to the Bates Motel here pretty soon and try to fend off any predators that might be there. But before we do that, I'm gonna go do another walk on the bridge and maybe take some short time lapses of people walking across it. I've got the 14 to 24 on the a7IV right now doing video, but I've got the a7III with the Sony 20mm and a 10-stop ND. I'm gonna head down to this bridge and show you guys what it looks like on the bridge itself. Trying a little mini time lapse just of foot traffic. I think it's set to 2 seconds. I set it for like 2,500 shots. I'm not gonna take near that many, but it's a very wobbly bridge. All these suspension bridges are very wobbly, and that's something I've noticed doing like pier stuff too, like in the lakes and stuff like that. It's really hard to get stable footage or stable time lapses when everything wobbles so much. But then I'm gonna go to the other side of the bridge, and then we'll see what it looks like from that side. This might just turn around. We might get a decent sunset tonight. So, as I said, I'm a bit of a scientist, and being a scientist, I'm very knowledgeable on a great many things. Got Massachusetts, Michigan, Mississippi, got all the states and all their respective flags, and you know, their alphabetical order. We got Maine, and then we've got Ranger Hat. We'll leave it to the American school system to not fully educate us on all the states. I've never heard of the state Ranger Hat, and they don't even have a flag. And you know, I just want to take a minute to speak for the people that live in Ranger Hat, USA. You have been underrepresented for far too long, and I want to be on the right side of history with this one. You know, I want this YouTube channel to be the first YouTube channel to bring awareness to the state of Ranger Hat. So leave a comment below if you are for the people of Ranger Hat getting better representation in American media. All right, so on the other side now, and from this vantage point, we can see right over there is where I'm hoping to go tonight. I think if I'm sneaky enough, I don't think it'll be a problem. I really can't imagine they have people walking the perimeter of the entire park at all hours. So we're here at the Bates Motel in White Pine Bay, Colorado. It's not a bad place. It's got all the pug amenities you could need. It's got a table for all of my stupid bullshit. We're crashing here tonight, which means I can go back in the morning and get any photos and or footage that I might have missed today. Unfortunately, they don't open until after sunrise I knew coming up here that the chances of Milky Way were gonna be pretty slim. I think that's south, which is where the Milky Way is gonna rise. And we still have like 12 hours before that'll really be an issue. It is currently 4:25. The sun sets just after 7 this time of year. So the pug and the other dogs and my mom are gonna stay here, and I'm gonna take the car and go back to the bridge probably around 6 p.m. to hopefully get some sort of sunset. I just hope we get some golden light. It might look really nice washing over that canyon. But then there's always sunrise as well. It's another opportunity for that. We're just gonna chill here for another couple hours. We ordered some Mexican food, so we're gonna eat Mexican food. You know, Malcolm is Mexican. Anyway, I'm gonna be horizontal on this bed. I'm gonna lay down for a few minutes. I'm gonna have to get up at like 2 in the morning and go sneak my way over to my little spot to hopefully shoot the bridge at night. So we got 96 straight hours of the Cosby Show, but Louis C.K.'s show was pulled from FX and everybody pretends like he never existed. I'm no judge, but I'm pretty sure what Cosby did was a lot worse than what Louis C.K. did. I'm just saying. I guess you just have to be a certain age and have a certain amount of fans before people forget what you did. Like Michael Jackson. Most people still think about his music. I don't. I think about all the children he's skinned alive and wore around like flesh suits. So, came back out here with a good hour and 20 minutes to spare before sunset. I guess I totally missed it, but there's a gate and they actually do close it at 5 o'clock, which is just super lame. But at least it's nice and windy and cold and awful. Honestly, I might have lied a little bit about the sunset though. We do have some nice mist rolling over the mountains over there, and there is some light to the left. So I set up the a7IV, shooting a time lapse. You can't get where I wanted to get, but I found this other spot. It's like a little picnic area, kind of nearby, where you can at least still see the bridge, so. That was a bit of a turn of events. I had the time lapse running and I was just kind of wandering around looking for some possible compositions for a Milky Way shot. There's a lot of cool cacti out here. And then I started turning my attention towards the bridge again. And I was like, you know what? I wonder if there's a trail that goes a little bit deeper into this canyon. So I left my time lapse camera running and I came and found this, which views the entire valley and all the way up into the mountains. And so I rushed because there was a small patch of sky right there where the sun was coming out. I grabbed my other tripod and I ran down here with the a7IV. And the probably 1 or 2 minutes where the sun was out, I was able to get a whole bunch of bracketed shots. And I'm actually pretty excited about them. There was some golden light sweeping over these hills right behind the bridge. That might be the only light we get, so I'm gonna stay here a little bit longer, but there is, as you can see, quite a thick bank of clouds sitting right over the mountains, so I don't think we're gonna get any color in the clouds, but the next best thing is some direct sunlight. I closed down the aperture to f16 on the 14-24, and I ended up zooming all the way into 24, just on the very limits of that lens, and I might even crop it a little bit further than that because there's a lot of wasted space down there, but I think that looks pretty good. Those are probably my favorite images of the day. We'll just have to see how they turn out, but it'll really just come down to how this composition looks on a bigger screen. I think think they'll work though. I'm probably gonna just give up on Milky Way. The only compositions where the Milky Way is gonna be shown are gonna be behind all these trees, so I'm not 100% sure it's worth it. But I think coming to this spot actually right here for sunrise might be really cool because the sun will be coming up over that way and that'll wash the light through this whole canyon. And that's the only problem with this sunset shot is that it came from this way, so the light on the hills was nice, but there was no light down in the valley.
So I know I said that I was going to give up on Milky Way, but I got up at 2 o'clock in the morning anyway, and I noticed that the skies were completely clear, so I made an attempt and I went out and took some images at night.
So I'm back out at the overlook on the bridge and I did not get much sleep. I got like 5 hours, but with only like 25 minutes of REM sleep, I'm fucking exhausted. That's way more important than just overall sleep, at least for my shitty body. But anyway, it is currently 5:30. Sunrise isn't for like another hour and a half, so I'm not gonna drive all the way back down to the motel. I'm just gonna chill here and I don't know, watch some YouTube or something and wait for some light to start showing up, and then I'm gonna head down and probably set up another time lapse and see if we get any nice morning light. I could have sworn I hit record on the way down. I had a little adventure looking for my tripod because I put it in a different spot. And it was fun, and it was an adventure, and you guys didn't get to see that, and now I'm angry. The Sony, I turned on this red record box around the screen, but it's not very fucking bright. It's just kind of like darker edges, and I'm colorblind too, so maybe that's the problem. But anyway, I found my tripod. It's still going here. We're sitting at like, let's see, 699. I just set it for 2,500 shots just so it'll just go until I stop it, basically. Yeah, I mean, this is looking pretty nice. Obviously, there's really no clouds, and unfortunately, this side is west facing, so the sun is coming from the other side. I don't know how late it's gonna be before the sun really dips down into the canyon. Probably past golden hour, so I'll probably just sort of let the time lapse go until it hits the bridge and it glistens or whatever is gonna happen. I'm not a meteorologist, I don't really understand these things. Yeah, you know, I'm actually pretty happy with our little trip here. I don't really get out and do landscape too much anymore, but going out and doing landscapes only every once in a while, I mean, I'd say like 90% of the time when you're going to a landscape, you're gonna get nothing. So really it's all about persistence. If you want a specific shot, you just kind of have to keep going back over and over again until you finally get the light that you're looking for. So that little 2-minute period last night where the light was just beautiful and washed over the canyon, it was awesome. I mean, and that's really all it takes is just 2 minutes of a light event to change the whole shoot for you. So I'm gonna swap lenses again and take a few more photos and then head back to the motel.
Heed my advice, the next time you shoot time lapses, make sure that electronic front curtain shutter is off. If it ends up at 1/8000 or really high shutter speeds like that, you'll get really poopy results, but enjoy either way. This concludes our adventure. I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you click right around here to see another time that I made an ass out of myself in public going to shoot the Milky Way. It's not what I would consider convenient. But thanks for watching nonetheless. Please subscribe.